Good afternoon, everyone. Adam Holder here again from Nedlaw Living Walls, and welcome to another edition of Friday FAQ here at Nedlaw. I know we've been gone for a couple weeks, and we are back and ready to fill your boots with more information about living roofs. So in the first couple episodes, we had talked about how important it is to make sure you're hiring professionals to do the job. So now you might be asking, well, what are the different systems that I can put in, and what are the differences between the living roofs? So living roofs are basically divided into three different categories, or three different system types. And today we're going to compare them using 6 different criteria, and those are maintenance, irrigation options, plant types, system build-up height, so how high they go up from the roof deck, cost, obviously, and we're going to look at why they're being planted in the first place. So let's start with the most basic and rudimentary system that you can get as far as green roofs go, and that is an extensive living roof system. So an extensive system is a basic living roof. As far as maintenance goes, it's very low maintenance. Usually just requires a couple of visits a year just for some basic trimming and weeding. Doesn't require any supplemental irrigation system either. It can live and thrive just on rainwater, especially in our temperate climate here in southwestern Ontario. What plants can you put into it? Well, basic plants. We're looking at sedum, low grasses and herbs. Its build-up height is about a maximum of about 8 inches. And weight was the last category I forgot to mention. So its weight is about maximum of 150 kilograms per meter square. It's the lowest cost system that you can buy as far as the spectrum goes. And its primary purpose essentially is to function as an ecological protection layer for your roof, for your building. It can actually vastly increase the lifespan of your waterproof membrane in your roof just by protecting it from UV light from the sun and also temperature fluctuations in on the roof and where it is. So let's move on to our second most, well, actually their second living roof system, the highest end of the spectrum, which would be the intensive green roof system. So the intensive green roof system is, as far as maintenance goes, is the highest maintenance roof that you can get. There's a lot of weeding involved, a lot of trimming, a lot of pruning. Irrigation system, it requires supplemental irrigation. So if you're considering an intensive roofing system, you should probably be looking at including extra hose bibs up on the roof so that you can connect to hoses to do the watering in between rainfall. As far as plants go, now you can really get creative here. In an intensive roof system, you can plant trees, shrubs, bushes. Essentially, this thing is a rooftop park, and there's a lot of variety you can put into it, and you can get really creative and elaborate with an intensive system. So when we talk about how heavy these things are and how high they go up, I mean the thickness of the substrate that we're using could go as high as 4 feet, and these things can weigh probably anywhere from about 500 kilograms per square meter at the high end. So they're very heavy. So as I mentioned before, when we're talking about engineering, make sure you call your engineer if you're planning on putting an intensive roofing system on, so that you know your roof can handle it. Otherwise you're going to wear it. These are the highest cost systems, obviously, because of how elaborate they are. And as I mentioned, what their primary use is design. One thing I forgot to mention too, you can actually even put farming systems on intensive roofs, and that's something that we can get into a later time. And the third roofing system is a blend between the two, which is called a semi-intensive roofing system. And I don't need to go back and forth. We're basically middle of the road as far as all the criteria go. So I hope you've found what I've talked about today a little bit informative. I know if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And I wanted to thank you for taking the time here this afternoon with us for another episode of Friday FAQ. Have a good weekend and looking forward to seeing you all again next week. Take care. Bye.